Warning, this video is for entertainment purposes only, and by no way, shape, or form are these the views of Cruddy Dave and the Cruddy Dave Media Enterprises. Hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.
It's missing one day, I did 10 in a week. I be running through zones, you niggas still playing with G. Still fucking with chicks, I be looking too sweet. But I'm a whole different nigga when I'm working at P. Still working them up, he can't get on my sheet. He was trolling them, man, I just did it for real. You niggas ain't getting out no cars, y'all niggas just rob up my life. I stay jumping on cars trying to snatch me alive. If he speaking no bug, then I'm bending it twice.
I be talking to niggas, man, leaving the street. Man, scared ass niggas don't really want beef, man. I be talking to niggas, man.
Information about the release of a teenage suspect accused of firing 26 shots from an AR-15 rifle into a DC street. Incredibly, no one was hit in all of this. Court documents obtained by WUSA 9 reveal that the judge went against his own instincts to keep the teen in jail before trial after repeated pleas from the public defender. Our chief investigative reporter Eric Flack is back on the case for us tonight. Flack, we know that hundreds of thousands of people have seen this video posted on your X account, which allegedly shows the teen emptying that semi-automatic rifle into that neighborhood.
Larry, it's a stunning video. So many people on social media asking the same question. Why would the judge let someone charged with a crime like that out of jail before trial? Tonight, this 141-page transcript of that court hearing on May 3rd revealed even the judge initially thought it was a bad idea. We want to warn you, this story includes video and audio of gunshots, and it can be disturbing. 18-year-old Amonte Moody is accused of firing 26 shots from an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle at a SUV driving away on Independence Avenue in Southeast on April 22nd. He's now charged with assault with a dangerous weapon and possession of a firearm with a crime of violence. In a hearing last Friday, Magistrate Court Judge Lloyd Nolan found probable cause for the case to go to trial and seemed likely to send Moody back to jail pre-trial. A prosecutor telling the judge, "I think we all know that we're lucky that this wasn't a homicide." Judge Nolan agreeing, saying, "The concern I have is that this action could have killed someone." The court transcripts show the suspect's public defender continually fights the idea of sending Moody back to jail, asking the judge to release Moody with only a GPS monitor, a curfew, and activities during the day, including finishing his high school diploma and job training arranged by his aunt. The public defender also told the judge Moody had a supportive family, many of whom were in court, willing to take him in and help monitor him while on pretrial release. But prosecutors pushed back, telling the judge all of these were available to him when he decided to unload 26 rounds out of an AR-15 in the middle of the street. And again, the judge seems to agree, saying, for something to escalate to the point where you feel you need to go into the middle of the street and let off 26 shots, I don't know what set of circumstances, short of incarceration, I can find. But 8 different times, Moody's defense attorney rejects the judge's arguments, saying Moody had no prior criminal history, had a developing brain, and that his personality changed after his grandfather died. The defense pleading with the judge that Moody had already been in jail for 2 weeks, and that 2 weeks of incarceration is not where he wanted to end up again. Eventually, Judge Nolan relents, releasing Moody on 24/7 home incarceration at his stepfather's house in Maryland with a GPS ankle monitor, warning, "The concern I have is for the safety of the community." And a lot of people also have that concern right now. The U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia has filed an emergency order to reverse the magistrate judge's decision to grant that teen shooting suspect pre-trial release. That hearing will happen next week, and Larry, we will be there.
Remarkable that nobody was hurt in all of this.
Truly.
Eric Flack, thank you so much, sir.
Today's Terrible Judge comes to you from Washington, D.C. Superior Court, where Judge Lloyd Nolan has released an 18-year-old that empties his AR-15 in a public street in Southeast D.C. He fired 26 shots from his rifle at a car, and Amonte Moody then fled despite committing 2 felonies and disassembled his rifle and stored it in his home's attic in Maryland. Judge Nolan ruled that Moody could be released before his court sentence despite his knowledge of firearms and accessibility. Judge Nolan didn't rule the same way in 2021 for a white man who was seen near the DNC with a machete. Judge Nolan placed him in jail right away.
A D.C. teen accused of firing an AR-15 dozens of times in the Hill East neighborhood in the middle of the street has now been let out of jail while he awaits his trial. News 4 obtained 3 different camera angles which prosecutors say show 18-year-old Amonte Moody running out of his home and opening fire on a car. The shooting happened on Independence Avenue Southeast at the end of April. No one was injured in this indiscriminate shooting. Court documents show a judge released Moody from jail to home confinement with a GPS monitor. Prosecutors, though, have now filed an emergency motion to reverse the judge's decision. They called Moody a, quote, danger to the community and said that no release conditions could assure public safety. They also said GPS devices are only monitored during business hours. So if a defendant leaves home on a Friday night, no one would know until Monday. The hearing for the emergency motion is scheduled for May 15th.
We've got an update tonight on an incident that stunned a community. Police say an 18-year-old unloaded an AR-15 rifle into a street in his neighborhood.
Yeah, you can see right there it was all caught on camera, and what was even more shocking is what happened after. A judge released that teen to family instead of ordering him to be held in jail. Well, tonight a higher court judge has thrown out that decision and sent that teen back to jail.
Our chief investigative reporter Eric Flack has been on this case since the day that teen was released, and we have to tell you, this story contains video and the sound of gunfire, and it may be disturbing.
I can't tell you the number of times we've heard bullets flying in my neighborhood. I'm grateful for the judge for sending this individual to jail. He belongs in jail.
Former ANC Commissioner Denise Krepp lives just blocks from Independence Avenue in Southeast, where prosecutors allege 18-year-old Amonte Moody fired 26 shots from an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle into the street April 22nd. Prosecutors say he was aiming at an SUV that was driving away during the 2 a.m. incident after a dispute over clothes. The incident caught on at least 3 different cameras. No injuries were reported, although one viewer sent us these photos of a bullet which allegedly hit the family's car during the incident. Despite felony charges of assault with a dangerous weapon and possession of a firearm during a crime of violence, Moody walked out of D.C. Superior Court less than 2 weeks later after a magistrate judge surprised prosecutors by granting him pretrial release.
Mr. Moody, is there anything you'd like to say?
Placing Moody on round-the-clock home detention, equipped with a GPS monitor and a stay-away order from the occupants in the car. The U.S. Attorney's Office immediately asked for an emergency hearing to revoke the teen's release, saying despite defense attorney arguments which emphasized the defendant's supportive family and lack of a criminal history, prosecutors say none of it stopped Moody from allegedly emptying that AR-15 onto a public street where, quote, any innocent passerby or resident could have fallen victim. In court Wednesday, Superior Court Judge Errol Arthur said charges as serious as the ones Moody is facing carry a presumption the defendant will be held in jail before trial, unless the defense offers convincing evidence the community would not be at risk. The judge, citing those videos over and over again, said the seriousness of the charges, the risk the shooter posed to the community that night, and the fact the teen allegedly had an AR-15 in the first place and knew how to use it outweighed Moody's lack of a criminal history, sending him back to jail to await his trial.
But for the grace of God, nobody died.
That judge telling the courtroom, I listened to the audio, I watched the video, I couldn't keep up with how many shots there were. Eric Flack, WUSA 9.
And Amonte Moody's trial is set for August 27th.
Yo, this story right here, y'all, is crazy, y'all. So allegedly, they say that the rapper 60 from Third World is the person who was allegedly on that tape who was shooting, I don't know how many times, 15 or 20 times, whatever, at the 4 people in that car with the AR-15 in Northwest. Man, it's crazy how this dude was let out on bail too. But yo, they say that he went back in jail because the judge revoked his bail. And right now he's currently waiting to go on trial for this incident. Yo, DC, son, is a different animal in itself, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. This right here, y'all, is a wild story. And stories like this happen across America. It's just that it doesn't come into the national headlines as it should, man. But yo, this is crazy, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, man. I'm out.